Hello confidence and welcome back. Keanu Reeves is one of the most likable movie stars to ever exist. He's capable of portraying a serious character and a daring one at that, as he's proven in the highly acclaimed Matrix. He's also a funny comic as we see in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, then again in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. His roles in beloved blockbuster movies, relaxed demeanor and genuine earnestness have made him both an A-list actor and a prince of internet memes. But despite a high-profile career spanning over 3 decades, Reeves has remained a very private person. There's a lot you probably don't know about him, from his early life as a young actor to his behind-the-scenes exploits and work outside of movies. Here are 15 things you didn't know about this man, Keanu. Welcome to ConfidentCastle.com, the place where you'll always find sensational facts, beautiful rich people, and great entertainment. If you want to make sure to get the next episode, subscribe and click the bell. 15. He has a very diverse ancestry. Keanu spent most of his early life in Toronto and he fully identifies as Canadian. However, he has British, Native Hawaiian, Chinese, and Portuguese ancestry as well. He was born in Beirut, Lebanon, spent parts of his childhood in Sydney, Australia, and New York City before settling down in Toronto. 14. His name means cool breeze over the mountain. Keanu's unique name is a Hawaiian word meaning cool breeze over the mountain. Not only does his name make him stand out in a cast list, but it also seems to describe him perfectly, as if he visited his parents from the future and told them what name he should be given. His father, who was of Hawaiian and Chinese descent, derived it from Keawihilio, the name of the famous Hawaiian high chief in the 18th century. 13. He had several stepdads in his life. Keanu had a father, but he didn't live with him. Staying with his mother, Keanu encountered several stepfathers in his life. His mother had married several different men, and when it didn't work out, she became divorced again, but remarried on a few different occasions. This means that when it came to male role models in his life, Keanu had a diverse group of them who would come and go during his younger years. It wasn't the most stable situation for a young man to be in, but we can tell by the way he lives his life that he turned out to be an amazing and brilliantly well-rounded young man. His mom and at least some of his stepdads must have done a lot of things right, even if they couldn't make their marriages work out. Hey confidence, now that we're deep into the video, if you like this video, please click the thumbs up button. It helps us understand what you like and it also helps us please the almighty YouTube algorithm. 12. He had a lot of trouble in school. Keanu Reeves attended 4 different high schools within just a 5-year period and was expelled from one of them. He developed a habit of shooting off his mouth, as he puts it, and the staff at the high schools didn't appreciate it. Given the fact that his home life was up and down, I imagine that he had a lot of emotional turmoil when things weren't going smoothly at home. 11. Legendary musician Alice Cooper has been his babysitter before. Reeves' mother was a costume designer in Toronto when he was a kid, so she sometimes worked with famous people in the rock and roll industry. Supposedly one of them was rock musician Alice Cooper. During an interview with Jimmy Fallon in 2017, Reeves said that he doesn't exactly remember it happening, but he's been told that rock musician Cooper has babysat him before. 10. He had a ghostly encounter as a child. Keanu told a chilling tale about a ghostly encounter that he had when he was living in New Jersey. He said that he saw a white suit but with no legs and no body to the apparition. He revealed that it would come into the room and then disappear. It wasn't just a figment of his imagination either, because his nanny was also privy to the event and she was as shaken as Keanu was. He said that he had problems getting back to sleep after the incident. 9. He was a skilled hockey player. In my view, Keanu was always the one, but before he actually became recognized as such, he was known to his fellow hockey mates as The Wall. He picked this nickname because he was extremely good at hockey and was so formidable as a goalie. His hockey background doesn't come as much as a surprise when you consider that, well, he's a Canadian. 8. He was once a vocalist in a band. Ever heard of Dogstar? Neither did I before googling around, and neither would most people if Keanu hadn't played bass for them. You should go check Dogstar out, they actually sound pretty good. Before The Matrix, but after Bill and Ted, Reeves was the bassist and backup vocalist in the Dogstar band. He performed with Rob Mailhouse, Greg Miller, and Brett Domrose. Throughout the 1990s and early 2000s, they released an EP and 2 albums and toured the United States, Australia, New Zealand, Europe, and Japan. They've also opened for artists like Bon Jovi and David Bowie. Actually, Bobby once personally requested that the band to open for him in Los Angeles at the Hollywood Palladium. 7. His first acting role was in a Coca-Cola commercial. Not every actor can just jump from complete obscurity into international superstardom. In fact, most don't. Most actors start small, usually from commercials, and build up a foundation. Keanu is one of those actors, and the foundation of his acting career was built over a body of black, sizzling, totally refreshing Coca-Cola. He'd appeared in a few movies that were made for TV, but his Coca-Cola commercial is the one that became his most famous. And if you want to find it, it's still out there somewhere on YouTube. It's kind of cool and nostalgic for Keanu's fans. Hey Confidence, this is a small and independent channel, and every single subscriber matters a lot. So your like and subscribe means the world to me. Please feel free to like and share the video and subscribe to the channel. 6. He doesn't believe William Shakespeare wrote his own works. During a video shoot with BuzzFeed, Reeves said he's always wondered who really wrote Shakespeare's plays, since he doesn't think it was actually the well-known playwright. Reeves said that he subscribes to the Oxfordian theory of Shakespeare's authorship. The gist of the theory is that Edward de Vere, the 17th Earl of Oxford, actually wrote the poems and plays credited to William Shakespeare. Crazy, right? 5. He picked up the smoking habit. Keanu is one of those actors that had not developed the habit of smoking cigarettes. That is until he had to act like he was smoking for a role. While starring in Feeling Minnesota, he was required to smoke cigarettes. Somewhere along the line he got hooked on cigarettes and started smoking at the age of 30. 4. He's been a victim of stalkers. On September 12th of 2014, Keanu woke from a sound sleep to find a woman in his library. She explained that she came to his home so she could meet him. He carried on a conversation with her while calling 911. Police came and arrested the female stalker. Unbelievably, a few days later, Keanu was again victim of a second female stalker who had managed to get through an unlocked gate and made her way into his home. The second incident was even more disturbing than the first. The woman took her clothing off, showered in Keanu's personal bathroom, and then took a swim in his pool without any clothes on. Reeves wasn't home at the time, but he was notified of the incident. Once again, police were summoned to his home and arrested the second stalker. 3. He endured 2 tragedies in 1999. Keanu and his girlfriend Jennifer Sim were expecting a baby in 1999. When Sim gave birth, their daughter was stillborn. The baby was during the 8th month of pregnancy and was simply born too early. This was just the first of 2 terrible events that would change his life forever. Just 18 months after the loss of their little girl, Sim was killed in an automobile accident. 2. He was paid $10 million upfront for The Matrix. The Matrix was released in 1999, and it was the first film that paid Keanu the most he had ever earned as an actor at one time. This was just his payment for the original film in the series. He was given this amount upfront just for agreeing to star in the movie. When everything was tallied up and the total profits were known, he wound up with a total of $35 million. The generous guy who was paid in profit sharing for the rest of the films earned a whopping $110 million. Unbelievably, he gave $80 million of his earnings away to the crew of the films. 1. He's trained with LA SWAT and US Navy SEALs. While Reeves was well versed in the demands of action movies, his training for John Wick was the most intensive he'd ever undertaken. He was put through his paces when it came to handling firearms. He spent 4 months with the gun coaches and out-tactical people from LA SWAT and the Navy SEALs. It was also essential for him to be proficient in a variety of techniques, so he spent another 4 solid months getting in shape, learning judo and jiu-jitsu. The resulting hyper-realistic firefights proved to be the cornerstone of the film's success by helping bringing the John Wick character to life. Now you know Keanu Reeves better. Which one of his films is your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you for having a good time with me, Confidence. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss another episode. And if you have a few more minutes right now, I picked the videos you see on the screen for you to watch next.